Welcome to the Performer Radio Show. Each week, we interview some of the most interesting people in the fashion and entertainment industries. Fashion and entertainment industries. Beautiful models, singers, comedians, dancers, fashion designers, actors, beauty queens, and many more. Right here on the Performer Radio Show.
Okay, we're back again.
Hello,
Maegan.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, actually. Today I didn't have to rush around, and yet we can't see it with the cameras the way they are right now, but there's a lot of people in this room.
It's a full room.
It's a full room right now, so that's saying a lot because it's a small room, too.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so it's a radio studio, but it's not built for, like, a lot of people. We got maybe, about 10 people at least in here.
A lot of talent.
That's okay. Yeah, there's a lot of talent here. We got photographers, we got designers, we got doctors.
Yes.
So yeah, there's a lot going on in here. We got me and Brian. We're just bums though. But we're going to introduce Brian and I are just bums. We just hang around. We don't have real jobs. Oh, he does. I don't have a real job. I'm just here all day long doing this kind of stuff. We can't hear you yet, Brian. I have your mic off on purpose so I can talk to the pretty girl for a second, and then we'll talk to you. One bum to another. So, Maegan, how was your week?
My week's been busy. It's back to school season, so I am back to school for my third year of my PhD program. So finally getting into my research and dissertation, and I finally chose a topic. So.
Okay. What's going to be your thesis on?
So my thesis is actually on special accommodations, bridging the gap from high school students to college students, and focusing on physical, mental, and developmental disabilities. So I'm very excited. And then next week I go back to being a college professor. So this week, college student. Next week, college professor. And so planning all my lessons for my dean students. So it's all back to school season. It's
so
just
we
really
can call
cold.
You Dr. Maegan, what, 2 years now? Roughly?
Next year, actually.
Next year? Oh, wow.
So
It's an accelerated kind of course?
Oh, yes.
Okay, very good. And how's Mass Fashion Week going on?
We have our first practice this weekend, which is super exciting. So this Saturday in Worcester, we're going to have our first Mass Fashion Week practice. We're getting headshots going, marketing materials going, and so I'm super excited just to get the ball rolling with it. And of course, just super excited to have returning models, new models. So we have some models. We have a 15-year-old. We have a mom in the group again, and so just really honored to be working with such a diverse group of models this time around.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we'll bring in this guy.
Now bring him back.
Wrong one. There he is.
Wrong
okay,
guy.
That was Hill. Hill's coming in a little bit later. That's okay. Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
You actually had a
Really
pretty
exhausted.
interesting off week for us. It was off for you, not for us, but last week. So let's tell everyone what you were doing last week.
Principal of photography and filming started for travel, Florida and beyond. I'm really excited. There's some really cool stuff out there. I was roaming around Key West looking for some good food, fishing, lobster tickling, you name it. I've done it all down there. Had some really cool restaurants. You name it. You're going to see a lot coming up and a lot of sportsman stuff, not only down in Florida, but remember beyond. So I got some really cool things coming up in the spring too. So national broadcast, national TV show, I am pumped.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
I've seen the Facebook posts and the Instagram posts. So far, it looks good. You enjoyed those rock lobsters that you had?
Oh yeah, they were incredible.
I mean, they're not as good as Maine lobsters,
look,
but they're still pretty good. You put the butter on them.
We can't tell that. Yeah, we can't tell them that.
Yeah, you put the butter on them. They almost taste exactly the same. Exactly.
Well, it depends on how fresh they are too.
Right,
That's what you're going to find. If it's store bought and it's under stress, the lobster takes on different characteristics in its taste. So when you're talking about the intricacy of the levels of flavor and taste, they make a difference. But Maine lobsters and New England lobsters, or more aptly put, Captain Joe and Sons lobsters, shameless push, but he has the best lobsters, I think, in the world, and I've tried them all. So
they're located up in Gloucester, right?
yeah, they're located in Gloucester, Massachusetts, and it's that cold water.
Pretty close to Maine. Pretty close.
Well, Maine lobsters, you tell someone that a Maine lobster is like a Massachusetts lobster, they might cut your throat, put you out in the ocean,
Yeah, I
something
know, but
like
it's
that.
pretty close to Maine.
But
it's almost
the
the
same fish.
Almost
It's
you're
the
20
same-
miles
the same
away.
lobster.
You're 20 miles away from Maine.
Yeah.
You're really not that far from
Yeah.
the Maine waters as well.
Yeah, they're the cold water.
Yeah. Brian has brought those lobsters down to his house and cooked them for people at his cookout a couple times.
A couple times, yeah.
Maegan, you're gonna be hugging me this summer, but don't worry, Brian will take care of you.
Bring me lots of food.
I'm here
Some
to help
Portuguese.
you.
I'll
He
eat
brought
all
me
I can.
lasagna
Oh, there you go.
tonight. Okay, what a great guy. He brings me lasagna, so I gotta love that. that.
extras. That's all I have to say.
You know, I can share. Don't worry.
It's a pound and a half.
Yeah, he might.
It's not like it's a light
Let's be
lasagna.
honest. It's a good thing you didn't eat it on the way down here. So
Well, it was close. It was close.
I knew it was close.
But you know, lasagna, a fun fact of where it comes from, it's a Roman dish. It comes from...
I knew there was going to be a fun fact coming up. Go ahead.
Yeah, Napoli, you know what I'm saying? You go down there and you look, it used to be, because they didn't have tomatoes until they came to the New World. So there were white sauces in the lasagna. But the Roman infantry used to eat that stuff like that was their business.
Like a bechamel sauce?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a totally different, you know, with cheeses and mushrooms and a little bit more of the vegan look to it. But when they discovered the tomato, I mean, imagine being in Italy when they discovered the tomato. Are you kidding me? Why wasn't I alive during that century? You know, and it just adds that layer of flavor.
They had to perfect it for a little while. So
oh yeah,
you're lucky you weren't alive.
I'd be lucky to help them perfect such things.
Okay, well of course you'd be the food taster, right?
Yeah.
How did this turn into a fun with food episode?
No, it didn't. But I'm just saying the lasagna where it came from. A lot of people don't know the history.
Yeah.
It is from Italy, but you know it was white lasagna.
Well, we can save that for next week because we're going to be talking about a new Italian restaurant opening next week on Fun with Food.
Well,
fun with food.
Exactly. But the thing down there, to talk about that thing down there, is it's not your regular fishing trip. And we're talking about multi-million-dollar yachts. We're talking about high-end restaurants. We're talking about sourcing right from the Caribbean and one of the hottest places in our country. And I know people that are cold right now, but let me tell you, Key West was 89 degrees. And I didn't even Uber home at night when I got that late-night cheeseburger when I turned to the werewolf. I actually walked back home. And it was a mile and a half.
How much is the Chamber of Commerce down there paying you for all this? Because it sounds like
exactly.
I want to go. I have to go to New York in a couple weeks for Fashion Week, but I'd rather go to Miami.
Well, is Maegan going to Fashion Week with you in New York? Is she going to come down to New York and?
I don't know. We'll talk about that afterwards.
I don't really understand. That's like, why wouldn't she go?
We haven't talked about it yet.
I'm sure I can fit in suitcases.
There you go. I'm going in my car, so that's all right.
5 foot.
You can actually ride in style.
Well, you ride in the car, but then you can take the bus back. You know what I'm saying? They have internet on the bus back.
I'm going to put her on the bus when I'm driving back home?
No, because I tell you what's good about the bus. The bus has internet, and when you do you get a bunch of images and you get content.
You got internet on your phone,
We're multitasking.
You get internet on your phone, Brian.
Queen.
We got internet everywhere now.
But the phone's
not just a bus.
She has a doctorate in it. She wants to write. She wants to get into the nitty gritty. Like
okay.
I want to do my homework.
Okay,
right, exactly.
You can take the bus if you want to, Maegan, but you can ride in my Lexus if you want to too.
Okay,
that's up to you.
Good.
Okay, so we're gonna get back to normal here. Hopefully, we got 2 Boston Fashion Awards. We're gonna go switch this from food to fashion. So we got 2 Boston Fashion Award winners here tonight to get their awards. And we're going to be coming back with them in just a few moments. So stay tuned. Go get some lasagna, sit down by the fire, and we'll be back. There you go.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers, he connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. it always came back.
Dad! Okay, here we go, throw it! Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Nice.
Whoops, there we go. I was going to say, I love that. That's really, really cool. Forgot to turn back the microphones. I want to make sure I didn't, because Brian was still talking. I didn't want to have him talk over. Well, I'm always blaming you because you are always talking. But that's okay. Now we can talk. I want to welcome Annmarie LaFauci and Hill Zhou. Hill is our photographer winner from the 2023 Boston Fashion Awards. Welcome, Hill. How you doing tonight? You doing well?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. So we'll talk with Annmarie first. I just want to introduce Hill and let him know that we're thinking about him. Annmarie, you want to move over to your right? We can't hide that pretty face. Come on. No. There you go.
I just came back from Florida.
Okay, and turn the microphone towards you a little bit. There you go. That's it. Okay. All right. Yeah. So welcome here, Annmarie. Now, Annmarie, got to show you her magazine. In Boston Magazine. Here we go. In Boston Magazine, and this thing is just loaded with some very. Oh, look! I just opened right to the Fashion Awards page. Hey, that's pretty cool. No, not this one right here. This one, this one over here.
That would be the weird fashion.
Yeah, it's a little odd. Yeah, they make them really thin these days. The skeleton thin models. But yeah, the Boston Fashion Awards was in the recent issue. Actually, let's go back to the actual. There we go. The actual article. That makes it a little bit easier. And the Fashion Awards was at the Omni Boston Seaport, or Omni Seaport Boston, whatever the way they call it, and that was back in December.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was actually a very nice venue. I love it.
The venue was beautiful. The shows were beautiful. So entertaining.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Yeah, we put a lot into it. And that was during Boston Fashion Week, in late September, early October. So we had a lot going on at that point. And after that, of course, we took a little break and get ready for all the 2024 stuff. Maegan wasn't there. Well, Maegan was there, but she wasn't there with us performer, but she kind of joined us after our ranks afterwards. And I'm sure she's looking forward to 2024's version of it. So Annmarie, you've been around with us for a while too, especially through Brian and our friend Robert, who's here as well, a photographer that you use in addition to Hill. So a lot of your pictures in the magazine are Hill's and Robert's and Brian's. Yeah. All three of them have contributed to the magazine for several years now, correct?
Yeah, I think we're going on 6 years.
6 years now? Oh,
it might
wow.
be 5. Yuck, I don't like up closeness.
Okay, that's all right.
Well, first off, let's just, Annmarie, you're absolutely beautiful. Not only on the outside, but on the inside, too. She makes a mean meatball, but I'm not going to go back there for that. She went to school in Italy, okay, and for fashion and design, and her family is ingrained in the Boston tapestry when you look at the North End, in the market that used to run down there in the North End. But the thing that really brought me in, first is the meatball. I love your meatballs. But like your designs and your looks, I met you at the Liberty Hotel, and you were doing a swimsuit line there, and I was just completely blown away. It was a white design that you did.
Oh, the white show, yeah.
And then you did a gold show too, and but tell us about your designs and where that passion comes from, because I just see it pour through you. Like you talk so effortlessly about it, but where did that come from?
I guess I was always into fashion and design. I always worked, but I love designing everything, whether if it's clothing or, even like the magazine, I love layout, doing layouts and all that. I love looking at other people design. I love art, artistry and everything. So I love to draw and design, and I always kind of did since I was a kid. I used to make my own clothes in high school, and just something different. And I never liked, I did sometimes, but the branded clothing, like everything says the name brand. I'm like, I'm not going to walk around advertising somebody else. I want to make something different that nobody else has and something more unique. So that's kind of how I got into it. And I go into spurts. Like, I'll just focus on designing and just make a whole line of clothing, bathing suits, gowns, whatever. And then, and I love to show. I love doing the shows and working with the girls and venues, locations, event planning. And with social media now, it's so much fun. You could do like those reels and kind of make little clips for everything. It's like a lot of fun to do that kind of work. And I'm glad I finally left my full-time job to just focus solely on this. Now, obviously, with the magazine, that's kind of, even though it was a fun side gig to promote everybody in Boston and we all kind of collaborate and work together, it's kind of turned more into a full-time thing for me. So I put designing on the back burner and I'm focusing on a lot of showcasing other people's designs. But I, at least once a year, try to, get down and make my own thing and do something fun and different.
Excellent. So let's take a couple looks at why you won the swimwear edition of the designer awards. Let's see what we got here. I think we've got them right here. Whoop, not there. Right there. Okay, so these are a couple of your designs from a couple of years ago, correct?
Yeah, I think that was 2 years ago?
2021, I think it was. You showcased 2021.
Yeah.
Right, and this was at the Liberty Hotel.
Oh, and it's 2024 now. I feel like that was
isn't
last
it?
year,
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It goes by so quickly. Yeah, these are, actually, was it 2022? I think it was 2022.
Was it COVID time?
It was 2022, excuse me.
It was the first
It was 2022
event that we had.
It was the first Swim Boston since COVID, correct. So the orange one really pops, doesn't it?
Yeah,
do you like fun. Leopard prints a lot? Does that because that's like animal print?
It's not so much an animal print. That's more of like it was more of like a sparkly shimmery nylon stretch lycra fabric. But it does look like a lot.
It does look
animal.
from this
it
angle. It
looks
like an animal print.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I like.
Yeah, the one on the right's a bit animal print.
Okay, I was like, I like the way it shines from the lights.
Yeah.
And then the one on the left kind of looks
that
like
same
the same
sparkle. I know, you're right.
Yeah, it does look
a little
like
that. And the girls were beautiful.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They obviously make the clothing.
Definitely.
I could put a bag on them.
There's an example of why she won the award a couple of years ago. No, last year.
Yeah.
That was a couple of years ago, and then last year she won the award. Actually, we have a couple of slides of you winning the award, or that was that night that we did the Swim Boston, and then this was last year. Which was really not really that long ago.
I know. I think it was a couple months, right?
Yeah, it was early October. Yes.
Yeah, that was the Omni. That show you did was beautiful.
That's Brian's co-host for Fun with Food, Kayla.
Kayla,
that's why I kind of put that. Yes, she's
awesome.
Definitely in there.
I love her.
Had to put her in there too.
Well, I think that you hit on one thing, and I don't think that people realize how much you give to the community as your collaborations and your ability to pull people together. And I think when you offer that and you're open to other people, realize that this is a collaboration. This is about featuring people from Boston and how much you do for us by giving us a voice through images and through your fashion. So, I mean, me on the outside looking in at a different perspective is saying that I appreciate you and I appreciate your talent. And I think it goes back and forth. I think you invite everybody to do that. Like Hill, you know what I'm saying? It comes to your shows. Like he'll show up with a shopping cart full of stuff. I don't know. Yeah. He's there, and it's one thing to be at an event, but it's another thing to be there in the moment and capturing that. And you guys down the end, you're going to be the best friends. I already know. I'm telling you, in a year from now, you'll be like, I just need to call Annmarie. And then that's the way it'll be.
We'll get lasagna.
Yes, meatballs, right?
Meatballs, right?
Or the meatballs. Meatballs. I was hanging out with New Yorkers, and they did a different. Well, we'll talk about that later. But you guys, when you talk about fashion, the both of you, and you talk about people that have been around for a few years and have built that business. She's one of those. One of those pillars.
Old, yeah.
I didn't say old. I never said old.
Been
I would say wise. I would say beautiful, and I'd say we get older like wine.
And I would say,
better.
stop while you can, Brian.
No, it's absolutely the truth
like,
because
don't stop. No,
it's a blessing.
Stop.
No,
It's a blessing to get old.
He'll eventually say something wrong. That's what I'm
I
saying.
won't.
Stop while you're ahead. That's what I'm saying.
Listen,
Stop
when
while you're
listen,
ahead.
Mike. When you speak from the heart, you don't say anything wrong.
Okay,
that's
right.
the difference.
Okay, that's true. All right. Well, again, I want to thank you for helping us put on the shows and being a designer in the show, because that's a lot of work too.
Thank
I mean,
you.
putting on the show is work, yes, but getting everything ready, and then unfortunately for us, we can't have all the models go to each and every designer for fittings. So all the fittings are done that day of the show, which makes
sometimes
it
that can
crazy.
be difficult because I
Yes,
used to be
exactly.
strictly model size. I would make my samples in model size, and these days model size is so much different than it used to be.
Yeah.
So when the Liberty Hotel, when I'll pick 5 girls and one can't make it, so they send someone in her place. I'm like, oh, she's not exactly. They're all gorgeous and they look beautiful, but sometimes the bottoms just kind of cover as much as they should be covering, and so it's a little. Sometimes it's difficult to work last minute that way, but we make it work. So now I kind of go mostly towards stretch fabrics that can kind of fit, any
It's
shape.
smart, right?
Yeah, it works,
But your gold designs were my favorite.
Thank
I
you.
mean, out of all of them, you came out with this gold line. And I was just like, wow. I was blown away.
Is that the fur? Yeah, the gold with the furs.
Yeah. You went to a different level on that one.
That was fun.
That was cool.
I love doing it, and the girls are so beautiful. I mean, you can just really decorate them, and it's so much fun to do. I love.
I wish
doing
I should have had a wand and I could make them 35 or so.
I know. Right?
So let's talk about this now again. So we got all your fashion stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
In Boston Magazine, you said about 5 or 6 years now?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we're going on 6. We
Going on
started
6.
in late 17. I think our first print was in 18, and then we've been doing whatever. I don't even know, 19, 20. Yeah, 6 years. We'll be going on 6 years.
So I like your tagline, where legends are made.
Legends are made in Boston.
I like
right?
that. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's very true.
It is true.
Even stuff like
I say everywhere.
Broadway plays, they come to Boston first, so they're
I'm
technically
serious,
made in
yeah.
Boston. In a
Everything.
sense.
That's the one thing I learned when I went to school in Milan, and I came back and I was back and forth to New York or LA or Miami, and people go, "Where are you going to design?" I'm like, "Where am I going to design?" Boston, because that's where I'm from. It's where I'm at. It's where everybody I know is, and I know a lot of people, so it works for me. And they'd be like, "You can't make it in Boston." I say it's not true. People are made in Boston. They come here, whether if it's colleges, doctors. I mean, we have everything here. Schools, everyone's getting educated here, so it's where the people are made, really.
No, look
Sports,
at your cover.
even.
Look at your cover on this last one.
Yeah, Di Pasquale.
So Frankie DeP,
yeah.
or Frankie Di Pasquale Ventures. Look at his restaurants.
Yeah.
Cornerstones of Boston. Cornerstones of the
And if
North
you
End.
read his story, he came here from Italy.
Oh yeah.
Then his parents took him back there. Then he came back again, and he hustled. He worked every job until he finally found. He actually had a store on Newbury Street. I think it was a shoe store, a little design shop, and that wasn't his goal. Did the restaurants. Now it's what he loves, but he works. He's got his son working every,
Tirelessly,
whether if it's the doorman, the cook, he has to know every job there.
So you got that. You got the guy that's at the top, and then you got another guy who's emerging talent. And today it's Instagram and Facebook and Reels.
Yeah.
He is a funny guy. Like when he did that Mark Wahlberg thing with the 2 shoes on everyone. But he's doing stuff with Maggie now too, and he's running around Boston.
Were you talking about Simone?
Yeah.
No. Oh,
no, I'm talking about
Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Joe, Frank's son. Yeah, he's awesome.
You have so much
Okay,
stuff
I didn't know what
going
you were talking
on.
about either.
So much
Okay.
stuff going on. No, but there's so many people, but like you have his son coming up in the business.
Yeah.
And then like we go to that event, and then you have comedians there, younger people that are just coming up. He's another kid from the North End.
Yeah.
That does funny skits online and reels and stuff like that.
Simone Nokera, he's got a huge following.
Yeah, huge
too.
following.
Amazing.
And it's just funny because people love to hear that New England accent. But you got a young guy in the game, and then you got a guy at Apex.
Yeah.
Like at the top of the game.
And I love to do that. I love showcasing what real Boston has to offer. Like what?
Right.
So if you come here to visit the city and you want to pick up a magazine, you can see like Dynamic Evolutions, the doctor's office, things that you can't get them elsewhere. Things that are just here that you would otherwise not know about. Like everybody knows Jason Tatum's in the Celtics, and this one's there. I'm not trying to tell everybody what everybody already knows. We're trying to showcase what's happening in Boston, really, like getting down to the nitty-gritty of who's who and what's where and where to go and who to see.
I go to Fratelli's when you go to the new casino, and we went to the opening night of that.
Yes, that was
Speaking of covers, you actually have 2 covers.
Yep, we always try to do a double cover.
Double cover.
Like one side's business, one side's entertainment. And this one was so touching to me. Like it was just such an awesome cover to do with the girls from the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah.
This, I don't want to talk too long, but this particular cover was so amazing because we did the photo shoot with these 2 girls here. They were the Make-A-Wish recipients. But this girl here showed up at my friend's studio, and she's like, just happened to be there that day. And she says, wait a minute, this is weird. She goes, I was a Make-A-Wish recipient. I didn't know you guys were doing this here today. So years ago, she had the exact same disease as these 2 girls. She ends up jumping in the photo shoot, and the story would make you cry. She's like, these 2 girls look up to her now, and she became a mentor for the Make-A-Wish Foundation because of what she's been through and how she overcame everything and how healthy she is today. So these 2 girls here, one was rushed to the hospital right before the shoot, so we had to reschedule the shoot. And now they're like, I'm so happy to see how good and solid and healthy you are, so I have something to look forward to. It was really good.
So where can they pick up the magazine?
So the magazine, we always have them available at our launch parties. And our next launch is February 13th at the Capo Restaurant in South.
Yeah, let's go talk about that in a second. Here we go,
sorry.
right there.
Cutting you off.
No, that's fine. Let's talk about it right now.
Yeah, and they're always available there. They're available online. You can go on our website, inbostonmagazine.com. And then there's a few different locations that like our sponsor locations, will have them in stock. And I don't know how long they last. Sometimes I'll drop more off if they ran out of them too soon. But I can always send them out to people.
Let's send me a website too. Hold on one second here. So here we go. There's your website. So you can, you have a digital version of the magazine on here too as well?
We do. And I also post it complimentary on Instagram and Facebook so people can just peruse the different issues.
That was a good shot of Ernie. Ernie Bach Jr.
Yeah, he's cool. There's Susie and Matt.
So you're quarterly, right?
Yep, quarterly right now.
Okay, quarterly. Yeah. So inboston.com. All right.
It's inbostonmagazine.com.
Inbostonmagazine.com, sorry. All right, so we got that. And the party is going to be on the 13th, you said, so it's the day before Valentine's, correct?
Yep, and it's a huge Valentine's celebration. So we have Bloom Lingerie, and they're doing a lingerie fashion show along with a suit designer. I'm going to pull his name up. I haven't met him personally, but his name's Ty, I believe. Let me just
Speaking of suits, I want to point out that Hill's wearing a suit. Thank you.
So handsome.
He made this place a lot more classier than
yeah, exactly. He's a lot class. That's why I call this bums, Brian. Yeah. Next to him, we're bums. Absolutely.
You're a bum rock.
Yeah. And our next cover features Paul English and Rachel Cohen. So they just started a new dating website called Lola. So the whole event is Valentine's-based themed dating, and we're going to have a vintage dating game, or like a modern day vintage dating game, live at the event as well. So we'll have contestants. If someone wanted to be a contestant, they can send a message over to us or download the Lola app and apply. It should be a really, really fun event, though. I'm looking forward to it. We'll have hair and makeup touch-up stations to do new profile pictures.
That sounds good. Yeah, your events are very good. They're very packed too.
Thank you.
It's got very hot in there with the last one. That was in December too. Yeah. But yeah, you have a lot of people attending them, which is great, and that's good for networking as well.
Yeah.
So people can go in there and talk to other people in the industry, and then pick up a nice magazine as well. So okay, thank you very much. For doing this, as well as being a person that, what's the word exposes, or not exposes, but promotes other people. That need a little push once in a while, like, look at this person, make sure that you pay attention to what they're doing. We kind of do the same thing here too.
And I love that more than anything. If someone calls and says you don't know this person, but you have to know them. Look at these people.
The thing is, you can go back. Don't be afraid to go back and look at her other magazines. That's her daughter, believe it or not. You wouldn't believe it, but that's like a ray of sunshine every day. But
my little dolly.
Go back and look at the older magazines, like this shot right here. Upside down shot in a Porsche. That was Russ, me holding the light, and another person holding a reflector.
That was a fun day.
And you know what it says? It says it's about getting the shot. So I don't know who gets the shot. We work in collaboration.
And it was a beautiful car, Brian.
No,
that's Brian's car.
Porsche.
Yes.
I love Porsche.
That's Brian's
my
car.
thing.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid to look at these older magazines. I'm going to slide them right down there to you know who, because I really wanted to take a look at these magazines.
I feel like I should do that.
And Robert was there. And Robert was there on that shoot.
We'll get Robert in before we
I keep seeing Charlie on the news too. He's doing really well with the Bruins.
Yeah.
Oh, obviously he's doing really well, but I think this year better than ever. I think it's because he was on the cover of the Boston.
This is what it is. You might say that that's strange. It's not.
Legend.
It's like that's how things happen.
Yeah.
You know that. Getting into
it's
some.
He had a beautiful daughter. I think it's just totally his year.
Yeah.
Oh, so now we'll say, Annmarie, have you met Maegan? Okay, so that's what we're doing at this today, definitely, because I mean Maegan loves the fashion world and she's heavily involved in that too. So
love it.
Brian's right. You're definitely going to be very, very good friends. And now we're going to be friends with Hill. Hill, yes. I want to say that you have done some amazing work over the years, and I've like I said before the show, he shows up at everything. Every time he's like, there's Hill, always there somewhere in the room. And he's covered fashion events, fashion shows, just about everything there is in the Boston area. Do you cover Providence too? Because you're kind of close to Providence as well.
Mm-hmm.
He needs a little help with the translations.
No.
No? Okay. So Boston, what made you decide to get into fashion photography? What was your... That's his niece, by the way.
Because I just like to take a photo, and then I like the people, and I like the fashion.
Okay. All right. Now, when did you get into photography? Were you younger, older?
Older.
Older.
When 2009.
2009.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am 40 years old.
You okay? So
40 years young.
40 years young, exactly.
Wait, well, you were then, or you are now?
No, he is now.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought.
He is now.
Now?
Yeah. No, now.
When I started, I'm 40 years old.
Mm-hmm. Oh, when he started, he was 40.
But now it's 52.
Well, yeah, you look 40.
You're 52?
Now. You look younger.
No, you don't look like 52, Hill. Very good, very good. You look very young for your age.
Thank you.
We're going to show some of Hill's slide. Here we go. Okay, first of all, this was your red carpet work. This was at the 2023 Boston Fashion Awards.
Yeah.
That's Joan Quinn Eastman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
JQE, right?
Oh, yeah, okay, Joan Quinn Eastman. Oh, here's Annmarie again. These are sort of like the what do you call it? The fashion, the fashion groupies that show up at almost every show in the Boston area. And this was this was Funk Phenomenon.
Rhea,
These are all Hill's pictures, by the way. This was Funk Phenomenon, who were an amazing group of dancers that opened up the show at the Fashion Awards. Now let's take a look at some of that. Oh, another. This was from Renu Gupta, who was here last month accepting her award. That's some of her designs that were at the Fashion Awards that night. Okay, the band that played, they were from Berkeley. Great shots, Hill. Very good.
Thank you.
And I love this shot right down the runway. Oh, that's really nice. And finally, one of our favorites, Isabel Lopez, and one of her designs at the Fashion Awards. So very good work, Hill. And that's just some of the stuff you do.
Yeah, that's the tip of the iceberg. I don't think that was. I mean, that
was the
him
tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it was just like a little bit of what he has. But I remember Hill when he first came on the scene. He had one camera, and you'd show up and you'd be like, "Hey, how are you?" And taking photos. And then you came out of nowhere. You graduated or something. And then you actually had a wagon that you'd wheel in with all your lights and cameras, and you really invested money in it. You were like, I really like this, right? And when did that come about? Because you spent a couple of years with a small camera, then, boom.
Yeah, I still use the big camera now.
Yeah. What cameras do you use?
I use the Canon 1DX Mark III. Yeah,
that's a pretty hefty camera too. It's heavy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You have to hold that all night long, or you got a strap too.
I have to hold.
What lens do you use? What kind of lens?
Usually I use 24 to 70, and I have the other lens is the 70 to
200.
200. Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty much the same.
Usually I use two cameras.
Okay, you use two cameras. Well, that's good. You don't have to switch lenses all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, and the other camera is a 1DX too. 1DX as well.
Yeah, it's 1DX.
1DX, yeah.
1DX3 and then 1DX2.
Okay, very good. Which one has the 2470? Which one has the 200?
What?
Which camera has the 2470?
It's 1DX Mark III.
One Mark III.
And
okay.
70 to 200 is to 1DX2. 1DX2, yeah.
Very
and
good.
then I usually use the 70 to 200 is for the fashion show.
Runway.
Yeah, runway. Yeah, this is the good. I can
it's the primary lens for runway.
And can catch any moment.
Right.
You have the thing I noticed, you have not only the strobes, but you have mini strobes now that you put up as accents, so you hatchet light stuff.
Yeah. I usually use 4 light on the fashion show now, so that I can get the good quality on the picture. Yeah.
Because you get the accentuating details. Like, so you're in the runway when you set up your shows. He's a great person to reach out to, just because his ability to reflect, and put the light in the right way, so it doesn't give harsh shadows. You're not like Leprechaun with the light on the bottom and more comes to the top.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in New York, they don't allow flash photography.
Yeah.
They don't allow any of it.
Yeah, but it's fine. But I think the camera is good quality. So
if you know what you're doing, you don't need the flash.
Yeah.
Okay, just that's. I mean, good photographers know that. Especially like in New York, if you bring a flash in there, they're going to crucify you. They're just like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No flash whatsoever, because there's so many of them that it ruins the imagery for everybody else. So you have to learn to shoot without flash.
Boston is good for me.
Yeah, very good.
I can set up anything for the fashion show. Don't need the people to help me to do.
There you go.
You're teaching,
and you're good for
now,
Boston too.
He's teaching people now. He has another assistant that comes with them to help him set up and do stuff.
Yeah.
So you kind of graduated from that. So tell us about your journey as a photographer here in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Like how he started out and where he's at now.
Okay. And when I came to American and to Boston, I just my favor, I take pictures is my favor, and then photography is my favorite. So I just like to take pictures for people. Yeah. So and my first fashion show is in Chinatown. It's a fashion show. Yeah. And then it is 2011. Yeah.
Very good. I want to show Hill's website too as well. Here, let's see if we can bring this up. Okay. Oh, actually, Facebook page. All right. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. I like that on the top. Very nicely done.
Great depth of field.
Yeah.
Nice lighting, accentuating.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
A little Christmas thing going on. Okay. Seem to like Christmas, especially. Okay, that's good. Very good. This is studio work too.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of fashion. There you go. You cover a lot of fashion events.
Yeah, like when he first started, he only covered like events, but like I've seen him grow now. Studios, setups. Being the principal photographer. Like the designers know him now. They want him there. They see his work. So it's at that level.
So let's talk about the fashion awards real quick. Now you've been pretty much at almost every fashion award we have had as a photographer, and this year you were nominated. I don't know if have you been nominated before, Hill? I don't recall. Do you remember if you've been nominated before?
Like he was.
I think he was.
No.
No?
No.
Oh,
the first time.
First time.
Yeah.
Oh, and you won for the first time too. Wow. Okay. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good run there. I want to show people his reaction when he won the fashion award. Let me see if I can find it here. Hold on. Okay, I know it's in here somewhere. Nope, that's not. Well, that's on the Reddit. There it is, right there. Okay, that was quite the reaction.
Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, these are Robert's shots right there. He captured the moment very, very well. His exuberance and winning, and that smile says it all, pretty much. And this was later on. But yeah, that was on the red carpet later on. But you stopped taking pictures at that point. You were done.
Well, what was great is you had Robert, because he's been the photographer for the fashion awards now for a number of years, and now he's doing head of runway the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So you had all these photographers helping each other. This is about getting the shot and talking about what we're doing and having a good time.
Very good. Okay, so you know what we're going to do? We're going to take another break. And when we come back, we're going to give you some nice little things to take home. Okay? Just so people know, I want to make sure that we show them that Performer and the radio show and the other shows are kind of going into the next level starting in 2024. And so we're really going to be pumping up, let's see if I can find it. There we go. Our new website. And this is live. I'm not doing this. This is not cached or anything like that. This is what's actually you're going to see right on the website right now. So we've expanded it in the past couple weeks. You get your news here, the current news. And then you've got, we now have a featured trailer of the week, which you can watch. This is for the ISS movie that's coming up this Friday, I believe. You can watch us live right here. And as a matter of fact, if I click this, you will see the live. There we go. See, just what I did just a couple of seconds ago. So we have the live stuff feed going here, and it's actually live 24/7. Okay, and then we have the last week's show, which will be changed tonight, obviously. Other articles are down below here, and our Instagram feed. And this is our music video of the week. And believe it or not, this is a brand that we started a while back when MTV kind of lost flavor with music videos, but then we had to stop because of other issues with Facebook and other things like that. But now that we're back on our website, you can now watch these. It's called Net Jams. That's our brand. You can watch these music videos again. See where music videos live on. Which is kind of cool. So we're back with music, and if you notice, this is the old MTV style too, which is very, very cool as well. And if you want to take a look at all the old shows, you got all the different categories here, news categories. But if you want to take a look at some of the old shows, we have them all archived. So all you have to do is go all here, and then by each show, you can go Fun with Food. Okay, all the shows are right here, and you can scroll down and take a look at all of them. Another thing that we do cover here is all the events that we cover, Performer. So you got the Fashion Awards, Swim Boston, the Nighttime Awards, which are coming up, and then the Miami Fashion Awards in 2025. And finally, to round it off, we got Performer Studios and all this other stuff and all the things we do here. And it's not just the Facebook, the website anymore. We actually also have our Roku channel, Amazon channel. We've got our Spotify. All the shows are on Spotify. These are the visual shows. This is video as well as audio, and on iHeart. Okay, so you got them all there for you to see anytime you want and anywhere you want now, because Roku is on tablets. The Facebook page is everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, in LinkedIn, Twitch. I can't even remember them all. Daily Motion. It's on all these platforms now. So there's no excuse if you say, "Oh, I can't get it." Well, yeah, you can. As long as you get a phone, a tablet, or a TV, you can get it. And then the Roku channel, which we started also in December, that's one of the new channels. That's one of the ones that are cleared to be on the new platform that they have, which actually starts January 18th, a few days from now. So on that note, I'm going to show people how we do the Roku channel, then we'll come back and we'll give away some hardware. Okay, so here we go.
models, singers, comedians, dancers, and so much more. This is the Performer Radio Show. Performer Radio Show.
I forgot I put all that stuff in there. It wasn't just Roku. Okay, well, so you got the idea. So Amazon Fire, and then coming soon, Apple TV, Google TV, LG, and Samsung. All of those are coming in the next couple of months. Did you get all that, Megan? Because there's going to be a pop quiz later.
I did.
You did?
So
Okay.
iHeart, Spotify.
Yeah, she got it all.
Roku,
All right.
We got the Daily
Brian
Motion.
wasn't paying attention. He was
Brian,
talking.
name me 3.
Yeah, say, yeah.
I didn't know what's going on.
You were doing great.
He doesn't know what's going on.
Doing great this week.
I'm just going to make sure. Brian works at Best Buy, so I'm going to make sure he goes down to Best Buy and turns all the channels, the Roku channels, to Performer.
Literally, I will do a demo.
He will do that.
No doubt about
See
it.
the
Do
fun
one
with
from
food and everything
RS,
else like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So okay, we got some nice little parting gifts for our guests tonight. Megan, why don't you do the honors here?
I'm going to pass this one to Hill.
Hill, congratulations.
Thank
we
you.
need a redo of the whole
Yes.
jump up in the
Yes,
sky.
okay, up in the air type of thing. Go ahead, Hill. Why don't you open it up first?
Open it up.
Be careful. Be careful. Be very careful. Don't let it.
I remember
Don't
when
let it fall out.
Angela's fell.
It's very important.
Yes, we do not want it to fall out. Oh, one more.
It's like those
There
Russian
you
eggs.
go.
That's some pretty glass.
Look at that.
Look at that. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's it. That's framed right perfectly there. There you go. Her Hill Zhou. There you go.
Yeah, this is my late. Thank you.
All right, now Annmarie, your turn.
Your turn.
All
All right.
Thank you. Such an honor.
This is your second one, actually, but
Yeah.
the first one was for
I'm
the
gonna put them
magazine.
I'm thinking tonight I'm going to have to put them together and take some photos.
I was going to say.
She's got a lot of friends.
Careful.
Freddie,
Yeah,
Christina, Michelle, Paul Bronco, Tony, Palermo. Everyone's saying how much they love her right now.
Okay, that's awesome.
got
Is that on the
fans.
chat? I haven't taken a look
you.
yet. I was so enthused with the conversation. Yeah, so Annmarie, that's your second one because you already won for the publication a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So where are you gonna put up? You said you were gonna put them together, but
I
where?
put them in my office, right above where I do my work all day.
Oh, very good.
Kind of my office / sewing room.
Okay, office / showing. So, and Hill, where are you gonna
Where
put your
it all
where are you gonna put your
I
award?
think I can put on my bed. It's,
Okay.
Sleep with it.
Yeah,
Right
sleep
on.
with it.
I'll sleep with
Yeah.
mine too.
There you go.
Sleep with it. Sure, why not? Just be careful. It's gentle. It's fragile. But yes, absolutely.
I think if the box is good.
There you go. Yeah, stays in the
Put it in
box.
like a
Stays in the
pillow.
box.
Yeah, we'll put it
Yeah,
on a
just
Very
pillow,
protected.
blanket.
Body
we'll
pillow.
put it-
Just-
I want to point out that Brian mentioned like Robert and a few others that help every year with the fashion awards, and unfortunately, they're not eligible to win or compete because they're part of the fashion awards. And I would love to give them an award, but I it's unfortunate that but they love being a part of it, and so they are also equally.
After the event.
Yeah, well, I'm just,
Not
they are
during.
also equally important to us as far as putting the fashion awards together and after the fact seeing all the imagery. So yes, that is important. So anybody that works on the project unfortunately can't be eligible. So we're gonna have to fire Robert so he can win next year. Okay, so something like that. No, I don't want to fire Robert. Absolutely not. No, he's a great guy.
We need like 10 more people. I don't know what you're talking about firing people.
No, exactly. No, I'm not going to. No. We're going to keep what we got and add to it, right? Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as you can tell, it's a lot of work putting on something like that. Well, you have so many moving parts, so everyone's very, very important to us. So Annmarie, you do these events once every 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know how much it takes to do that.
I know.
Plus, put out the magazine.
My hat's off to you because you work your butt off.
Yeah, I do. But
I
I'm
see
just
it every time.
wondering how you do it because I do mine. Well, I do more than one event.
Well, I used to do both. I used
Yeah.
to do the fashion show, and I would design the clothes, and then I would want to showcase my brand, and then have the magazine launch. But I'm like, oh my goodness, it's like I can't be upstairs dressing models, and I hate to leave it to someone else to do it because then things come down and they're wearing it backwards or something. I'm like, oh my goodness, but it looks good, but whatever.
Well, no wonder why you had to quit your job. I mean, that makes sense now.
Yeah,
think-
but I also love. We have so much talent in Boston, so it's awesome for me to be able to showcase other people's designs. Like we have Bloom on the 13th.
Right.
So that's going to be a great show, and her stuff is beautiful. So
You
we
may-
did a whole swim. As Brian would say, we did the Gloucester swimsuit.
You may not know this, but 10 years ago, I was exactly like you. I was doing Performer.com Models and Talent magazine. We had a quarterly, and we were putting them out every 3 months and doing the events, the get-togethers, to give the
Yeah.
magazines away. I couldn't handle it because what ended up happening is I started collaborating with Dirty Water News, And so they was like, okay, you know what? We'll publish all your stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, sure, I'll let you do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, you can take all that. I'll do this stuff.
And I wish I wasn't so hands-on, because a lot of times people will say, well, let me handle this, let me handle that. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I just want to make sure that gets done right. Well, I have to make sure that gets done right. And then, like, I'm like, it's too much, you know? So, but.
Right. Yeah, I want to say that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's so, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I can relate 100% as to how much work it takes just to put out a quarterly. You know, so scheduling all the fashion shoots, the models, the designers, if you're using outside designers, the photographers, the settings. Okay, that's just a one shoot.
I mean, it's
and you
so
have to do
much
it multiple
fun.
times.
Yeah, and it's so much fun to look back at. But you're right; it's a ton of work in the process. You know?
Right.
I mean, it's all worth it in the long run. However, this is sort of like a fun collaboration, and I was like, oh, this is just a side gig. You know, we're all just promoting ourselves, and I'm like, it's not really a full-time thing for anyone. We're just gonna all do it on our free time. And I'm like, somehow this turned into my full-time, like, all my focus. It's the baby that I want to grow and watch, and you know, watch it succeed.
Well, your passion turned into your job, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Hill, do you have a daytime job, or you shoot photography all the time?
I'm the full-time is the photography. Yeah.
Oh, full-time photographer. Okay, great.
Yeah. So that's a question I got for you. So how can we reach Hill if we wanted a private shoot with him, and like if you went to a show and a model reached out, how's the best way to reach out to him?
Yeah, I think the Facebook is the good, and you can search Maegan Hill Zhou.
We'll show the Facebook page again. I'll show you up to the top so you can see it.
Just search Maegan, and also you can search Google.com, and then the Hill Zhou. You can find Maegan. I think
that's how you spell his name. Hill.
Yeah, the Chinese New Year there too. Is that?
Yeah.
This is the. No, yeah, this is the.
That's a regular New Year.
Regular New Year, because the Chinese New Year is
February
10th.
Right.
So I will post a new photo on the Chinese New Year.
I like that one better, by the way, because it's so much more vibrant, the color and the culture. Like, I'm done with
especially
New Year's
here in
a bar.
Quincy.
Like Quincy.
Yeah.
Like
They
being
celebrate
here,
the Chinese New Year down here.
It's literally.
Yeah.
I have everything Chinese here. Like, I mean, if you go to the restaurants in like the Wollaston area, you know, what do you want? You know, not only that, they have like a Mr. Pickle, or they have a yogurt place, or they have a bubble tea. They have, you know.
Well, we're back to food again.
Yeah, you have all this stuff, but like
somehow it
always comes back to food.
But like Quincy has a large Chinese population.
Oh boy!
Yeah. And I think the dragon dance and all that stuff. That to me is fascinating. I like that.
Oh yeah, that's really
you
good.
probably shot that 1,000,000 times, so you're probably like, meh. You know, like I've seen it in China. Like, this isn't a big deal for me.
Hill, let me ask you this question: what kind of goals are you looking for achieving in the near future?
What kind of goals? Yeah.
Goals.
My future is to keep going for take photo for the Boston fashion and all the Boston event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like to take picture for Boston.
Boston.
Yeah,
You're a Boston guy.
Yeah, Boston guy. Yeah.
Okay, Boston guy. Annmarie, what do you see happening in the future with the magazine, with your designs, everything?
I continue to design, so I hope that just keeps taking off and gain more clients, and you know, just keep on doing what I love to do. And with the magazine, it's just so much fun. I'm enjoying it. You know, hopefully it keeps going, gets bigger, better, and more collaborations. But
well, also sponsorship too, though, right, Annmarie? Like,
we're always looking. Yeah, that's the one difficult thing is I have a really hard time. We get interns from different colleges, and you know, they're like, "Oh, I'm a marketing major. We're gonna get you some sponsors for the magazine." And I have a hard time. Sometimes people call me and they say, "I want a sponsor." And I'm like, oh, that's okay. I'll just give you a page. I'm like, stop talking. I don't know why I can't. I have a difficult time accepting money from people, you know, that way. Like, we need it. We need it for print.
But you are creating a product, and I think that's what you need to understand, is that you created a brand and a product, and there comes a point where you need to grow.
Yeah.
So that's what sponsorship is for. That's when you get people on board is, hey, and it works for them too. It's a vehicle for them too. So it's they have an advertising budget. You know, like whoever, I know other people that sponsored you, so they have an advertising
we're so grateful to all the sponsors.
Yeah,
too.
I mean they're phenomenal, and you know we want more of them.
Right.
You know,
one of our big sponsors, Subaru. So people call, you know, and I know that they're effective sponsors. Like sometimes it's a company that's not so well known about, but people will call me and say, like I tell you, the guy that does the DJ for us, I always do an advertisement, and he does like a lot of bartering here, here and there. And people call me and they're like, who was the guy with the photo booth? Who was the guy that's doing this? Who were the photographers? So a lot of times I know that our group is productive business-wise.
Well, they don't have to do the work. You already did the work for them. You know that they're a good product. So it's like, boom, there you go. There's a connection.
And I mean, with the online, I mean, we have like our website has like 48,000 hits like in 1 month. So I mean, I think it's pretty good. I don't know much about websites. I'm not a website person, but like we have great feedback on the websites and the Instagram and the videos we post. And I mean, with Charlie Coyle's cover, we just posted the cover and there was already 12,000 hits. And then with Simone, believe it or not, he made a little video montage at the whatever you call it these days, Instagram feed, at the Christmas party. There was almost 60,000 views on the insights. I'm like, wow, full plays, and it says how long they play it for. I'm like, it's pretty cool, these influencers and all these people that are out there doing things today.
Right, so on the end, I mean, for you collaborating with Annmarie, what would be your question to Annmarie? Like, why would you have a connection there? Simple, right?
It's very simple, but I think something that, I aspire is like, as a 24-year-old, I try to help foster a lot of collaboration, like beyond the fashion community, for my students, for models, for designers, for other business owners. I think something I aspire is just the constant growth that you have. I think my advice for myself and for other young entrepreneurs is to kind of take your route and be open to those collaborations, create things, because this was just a side hustle for you that turned into a full-time thing. And so sometimes people will just assume that side is going to be just a side. So I love how you just took it.
It evolves. It's a much bigger, better thing than
that's a trailblazer. Yeah. And then you follow that stream. You know what I'm saying? And you
networking is everything. Like I always tell my daughter especially, like, never ever burn a bridge. You never know who you need and who you work with and who you can. Like, I mean, make as many friends as you can in this life, because that's
exactly right.
That's important.
Exactly right.
Be
Speaking
good
of
to people.
Speaking of networking, okay, let's not forget this again. Okay, May. I said May. I wish it was May.
I wish it was May too.
February 13th. May you be there and enjoy yourself.
Yes.
On February 13th. This is going to be at Capo now, which is not saying on there, but you can see this on your Facebook page and get some more information. So that's Love and Lola, and that's going to be featuring Bloom Lingerie, Bloom's Lingerie, or how would you pronounce it? Bloom Lingerie's Lingerie. There we go. I knew I was going to get it out somehow. And of course, it's the day before Valentine's Day. So how could
and we're going to have the live dating game. That's going to be something.
Very cool.
Be fun to watch.
We actually have a dating game show called Love Match. I got to show it to you later.
I definitely want to see it.
Yes, it's actually it was one of our COVID. It came out of COVID type of things.
So cool.
So we got to bring it back. After we kind of like COVID started and it was like, can't do this now. So I figured a way to do it virtually, but it still wasn't quite the same.
And you know what's funny? A lot of people did that. And when I was interviewing with Paul English and Rachel Cohen for their article on the next cover, they were talking about the reason why they did Lola, and they said it's basically to get people back out.
Yeah,
because
cool.
like me, like I'm one of these people. I stayed in. I wanted to eat. I wanted to just be on the computer. I got to the point where I just wanted to text.
You
know, like I was like, I don't even want it. The phone's ringing. I'm not going to say hello.
Well, we got to wrap this up. Unfortunately, we're at the top of the hour. So thank you very much, guys, for coming down, Annmarie and Hill, and enjoy your fashion award. And hopefully you can win in 2024 again.
Thank
you
so much.
To Robert, the doctors, everybody that's in the room. All right. Good night and have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.